Hello again. So here's another reading. I've been getting a lot this week, and I am rekindling my love of astrology. Particularly when it's like when you do a reading for someone and they get the right answers, they get all the stuff that they're getting, and it really actually helps them. So this one's actually another, I guess impromptu, but not really. More like it's unplanned. I didn't really drop the charts. I was just kind of like plugging things in and just reading through it. Doing what I can to cutting it short and making sure it applies to the right signs and houses and aspects and all that stuff. So getting much better actually with the readings. So that's good. It's getting more accurate. Even if it's not accurate, I don't mind. It's part of the whole process. You make mistakes, right? But the research is done, and for the asteroids, and there's sometimes some asteroids gets tweaked. So in case you're wondering, hi, my name is Jose. For those who are new to my channel, I am a self-trained astrologer, specifically specializing in what I like to coin as micro-astrology, where I work with over 180 asteroids. I mean, there's like over 100,000. I think it's 100,000, but lots. And most of them are named after people and places. Most of them, yeah, the names I think were people. But there's a lot of them that are also named after mythological and legendary people. And that still applies. If you look at their story, it will apply somehow to your story. So it's wonderful. When I do the research, it's very detailed, super detailed, like anal, like crazy. Anyways, when I do a reading, it's just like that, and whatever applies, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you get guided also in the process. So in this video, it's going to be like what I said earlier. It's kind of unplanned, it's not really set up, and I like it that way. It kind of surprises me. It's like, oh, you have that. Oh, you have that. So I like to be surprised too as the reader, as I delineate the charts. Charts. Yeah, depending on the person's question. So yeah, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you after it. Thank you. Bye. Eyes on us. I was like, so have you ever had a reading done for you? An astrological?
And
No?
not through astrology, no.
Okay, so it can be kind of left brainy, so it gets kind of technical at times. I try not to be too technical, but it helps me try to pinpoint where things are and kind of reinterpret what the placements are. Because I showed you the chart, and you kind of see. I sent you a copy of your.
You did send me a copy. I don't
Okay.
understand the chart, but yeah, I
Okay.
have it.
Okay. So basically, what happens is with the birth chart is just that's the energy that was, you could say, stamped onto you when you were born, but then as you
Mhm.
get older, it shifts, and it usually means that because astrology is an art form, it's an interpretation. It basically is divination. You're
Mhm.
interpreting the sign just like tarot, oracle cards, runes, you name it. But astrology is more about the divination and art, or artistic, or not artistic, art form interpretation of astronomical data.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyways, that's why it can get sort of intimidating for some people. It's like, what's going on
It's a
here?
lot of information.
It is,
It's
it
a
is.
lot.
So, but because of that, it actually to me shows that astrology is um, shows a lot of potential for people in their lives, that you can whatever you choose, and you probably heard of this before, that you're different every second that you choose, right? There's multiple infinite possibilities. Yeah. So you
Mhm.
must listen to Bashar and different.
Mhm.
Okay,
I do.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love the message. He's very direct and straightforward. Like, it's
He is.
like, do you listen? I'm like, so I'm just like, wow, okay. So it's an acquired taste, if you will. Right. So, but
Yeah, I enjoy it
yeah.
just because I do trance. So that that helps.
channeling.
Yeah, I'm taking classes in trance right now, so that it's I
Oh,
find Bashar very interesting.
so are you able to have people have your higher selves come in or other?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah.
One was trying to blend in with me, and I was just trying to talk to this person's deity guide,
Hmm.
and they were coming through, and I was just like, I had a hard time breathing. So intimidating, so
You
powerful.
you yes, the energy is very powerful and intimidating, especially when you're first doing it. It's
Yeah,
very much so.
yeah.
For me, I find it calming. It's peaceful. It gives me the
Really?
it just allows me to step aside and allow whatever messages are going to come through, and it's not me second guessing it. So I truly like I enjoy it.
It's almost like you're kind of in a way saying, "I'll take care of it," and you just go relax and be like,
Yep.
"Okay, oh, okay, that's a kind of okay, that's a
Exactly.
kind okay." I think I was just
Yeah.
scared of it. Maybe that's why.
A lot of people are, and I think it's just the us growing up and hearing different things, and religion tries to scare you.
Ugh,
So I like the way my teacher explains it. It's like your higher self is a triangle above your head, kind of, and it only allows in what you want to be allowed in. Like they're not going to allow something that's going to be negative into your space because it's there to protect you.
that's cool. That
So
makes sense. Okay, cool.
yeah.
I don't know if I've done trans channeling. Maybe something like, what's the other channeling? What's called? There's a name for labels. What's that one called? When you know you're there, they know you're coming, but you're still seeing the messages. It's still channeled.
Mhm.
What is that? Is there a name for it?
I don't,
So
I don't think so. Just channeling. Yeah.
okay, so
I mean, there's different variations of
yeah,
it,
yeah,
but
there is. Yeah, yeah. Because I've
yeah,
been told that I don't know if I've been told to do that, but I do. I have been told that I could do physical mediumship, which
that
is
I
even
find
scarier.
interesting. That
Yeah,
sounds a
it's
little
like
scary.
plasma. Blah. No, I mean that's a stereotype, of course, but I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I've done a
I
bit of.
find it all interesting though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So yeah, so some things have sort of come through, but not really. I can feel myself going like this. I twitch, and then they
Hmm.
want to come through, but there's this resistance.
Yeah.
So
You just have to let it go. Just be open for whatever's coming to come.
really, okay.
Hmm.
My boyfriend, he's getting there. He knows how to do automatic writing. So
Hmm.
his guide two, I think two of his guides come through, and you just go like this. I never seen him do it in like live too. I've never seen him do it live. Like I
Does his handwriting change when they come through? Because I've done it
I think
and my
so.
daughter has
Yeah.
come through for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done
Okay.
it. My daughter has come through and the writing has been completely different when she
I've
replied
seen
to
that
me.
happen. Yes, I've seen that happen. But even with that, he tried it on me, and it just like nothing's coming through. So there's a resistance. I can feel it. And I'm just like, what am I resisting? But then it's a conscious thing. It's like, oh,
It
stop.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, okay. So sorry, I digress. I like talking about
Oh
this
no, it's
stuff too.
okay.
So
Me
yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
do too.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so let's give it a try. It's like, hello, my viewers. Sorry, we were talking about other things, but that's okay. We're going to go into astrology.
It's
Um,
all good.
yeah, more left brain here. But there have been times where actually I feel like some have come through, and my astrology reading has just gone. It has happened about twice, I think.
Hmm.
So there's something there. I don't know what it is, but I knew I was
Hmm.
there. I wasn't in trance. I was. So that's
Hmm.
interesting. So
Yeah.
okay. So what I'm gonna do is let's see what we get here. We're gonna go into your progress chart, or rather your yeah. We're gonna go into your what you call your transit and progress chart first, and I'm gonna see what asteroids I can add in here. So let's see what we get first. And I'm going to focus on your nodes, your lunar nodes. What they usually represent, because it's lunar, it's the moon. The moon in astrology often represents um, the soul. So I wouldn't say necessarily it's the soul itself, but I would say kind of, yeah. So basically, your inner self that wants to go into what it's supposed to go into, like your soul chose to do in this particular parallel life, right? So
Okay.
yeah, so we're gonna go into that one first, and I'm gonna share the actual screen here, so that way you kind of get an idea. So also the viewers get it. So So again, I totally appreciate this. I'm so grateful that you
You're
guys
so
are
welcome. I appreciate this too.
welcome. So yay! Cool. I'm actually kind of curious if you're also curious yourself about QHHT.
I am. I actually want to take a course. I've been dying to actually. I really want
Okay.
to.
So if you feel really called to it, let me know, and I'll be your guinea pig. Well,
Oh, that's awesome.
but then they say it's best to do it in person.
They do say it's best to do it in person, but I think it's because of the amount of time that it takes, like just having the person there and coaching them, just
That's
being
true.
there.
Yeah,
Because I've been researching it a lot.
yeah, and that makes total sense. But I'm assuming because you're from a different region and you're in the United States, right? So I'm in
I
Canada,
am.
and it's like, well, we'll see what happens. I don't know, but that's cool. At least
It's
let me know
it's
that.
all energy.
Yes, yes, of course, of course, of course. Okay, cool. So here's the window for the chart. Okay, so it looks very busy, kind of super intimidating for the first time you're seeing something like this. You see that it's quite different from what you've seen in your chart.
Yes. I just
Okay.
it's like it seems like a lot of chaos, but
Yes.
I swear it makes sense.
Well, because that's well, if you really think about it, the asteroid belt is in between Mars and Jupiter. If you get a visual of how scattered the asteroids are, it totally makes sense, right? Why they're all scattered. And I do work with over 180. I've been doing this research for about a year, and it's just I don't know. I just felt this huge push, and it just kept going and going. The list continues to grow. Not
Mhm.
as much as before, where it was in near the beginning last year. It was just like every single, almost not every day, but almost every single week. There's like sub couple of the like asteroids, and it just piles up, piles up, piles up, piles. So that's why it's over 180. I mean, there are technically over 100,000
Mm.
discovered now, and these are just asteroids. They're just right there, Mars and Jupiter. So, anyway, so yeah, this is why it's like this. Okay, so I do talk a lot, so thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Oh my God, you're fine.
Oh, and also I appreciate that I noticed that. Yeah, I see. I like also surprising myself. So when I saw your son is in Virgo, I was like, oh yeah, okay, he doesn't mind the talking. And then your moon. Don't tell me your moon is also in Virgo. Okay, double that. Um, I do see here that because you have an intercepted house in your ninth house, it means that there was some sort of I don't like to call it in an I don't want to consider I don't like to call it this way, but I don't like to use the word disconnection or rather like a block when it came to academia, certain philosophies that you had of the higher mind of the superconscious when you were younger.
Hmm.
This most likely would have changed. So if I switch this over to let's just go into yours. You know what? I'm going to take off the asteroids to keep it simple. I'm going to do that after. If we were to look into your progress chart, you'll see that maybe what are referred to as the house cusp. See, you see that? You see that? So the ninth house cusp right there. If you can see the mouse,
Hmm.
it's not blocking the whole house because if it's intercepted, it would be here. And I'm just doing it for you specifically because you like education, you like all this stuff, right? Um, so means now you don't have issues with accessing the superconscious, or you don't really have. You feel connected more with your heart and your vitality, your creativity, to um, to whatever's out there. So superconscious is going higher than your actual conscious mind. Um, and I don't know if you know this, but or rather, if you've seen one of the transmissions by when Bashar came through Daryl, that he said that the subconscious isn't actually sub, rather it is out there.
Hmm.
So that means that when we go subconscious, it's not really out there. It just feels like an older part of ourselves. It's kind of it's kind of like tied to. Have you heard of the three-part brain?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so the lizard brain. Yeah, okay. So I feel like the subconscious is the lizard brain, but at the same time, that's also where the what do you call this? The sorry instincts are. So it's an instinctive drive, but at the same time, it's subconscious, but not subconscious here. It's out there. But when I say
Right.
out there, is because I use the reason I'm putting this in is because I think it's important for us to go into the whole understanding that when we're talking about the subconscious, oh, that just closed by itself. I did not close that. Is that when we go into the subconscious, we're actually accessing an ancient part of ourselves. Because when we're looking at a dense existence like this life, if you
Hmm.
think of dust particles and you cram it, it becomes
Hmm.
denser, right? So it's kind of like that. So when we go higher, it's actually not higher per se, it's expansion out there.
Right.
Yeah, anyways, so in that case, with your sun there, I did not click on that. I'm going to open that back up. Uh, it's it's your creativity is sort of like going beyond that. So with your sun now progressed into Libra before it was in Virgo, um, it's you're going into that part of your life where relationships have become more important, at least for the last. Sorry, 1 second here. What is it? So I should know this. Hold on. They go into this chart. The last. Sorry, 1 second. This is where the math
Oh my
comes.
gosh, you're fine.
Huh?
I said you're fine. Good.
You said it's fine?
No, no, I said you said I'm sorry, and I said no, it's fine. You're
Oh,
good.
okay, okay. Did I say? Okay. So your sun was in 13 degrees. So it's now progressed into right here. So this is where we get into the age stuff. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's progressed into the point where you actually are more serious about yourself. You have a lot more intensity in your life. I don't know if you feel that, right?
I do.
Mm-hmm. And that means that it's actually right here. It's your progressed sun and your Pluto. You're now becoming. Seriously, I did not click on that. Okay, it's 10. So it's a lot of the stuff you take into your life has become more. I guess your any job you get into has become a little bit more transformative. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been changing a lot.
Okay, so yeah, so here, like I said, your intercepted house. It means that back then, your relationship, you had a sort of a even, somewhat even relationship with your parents, but on a subconscious level, there was something there, right? I'm seeing here Jupiter, Uranus here. It's square your Sun, Moon, and it's showing me that you didn't really spiritually grow with your parents, or they were kind of in a way. Let me see here. Were they kind of very talkative? It was just all about information and just saying this. They don't really mean what they say. They don't say what they mean. They just say it. Was it kind of like
Yeah, in a way, yes.
okay?
Like, yeah, my dad wasn't really a part of my life for a while, and then
Mm-hmm.
my mom, she was a single parent, so she worked then what she said went, and that's what it was.
Okay, and
So
it was actually unpredictable, wasn't it? There was a highly unpredictable like
at
relationship with
times,
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it actually affected you too because of that. Even in the womb, when you were you were in the womb, um,
Hmm.
it carried that sort of I can see here opposite your Chiron. So it affected your health, your nervous system, your digestive system was affected too. I'm not going to go into medical astrology, but that's what I'm seeing here.
Hmm.
And it actually, I don't know if you were born having issues with your legs and your thighs and your sciatic nerve.
I was born with with pigeon toe, so
Oh, okay.
yes, it definitely was affected. I had FCAS.
Okay. And that also, in a way, also affected how you worked with your hands, right? Your senses as well. There's something about your hands, your arms, and senses.
I'm not sure.
That's Gemini, um, because it's in your sixth house here. Did I get the time right? Was that right?
Yeah,
2:51.
the time is right.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay, that's right. So yeah, um, but okay. Your Chiron flows with your Mercury. So part of your philosophy growing up was to kind of you naturally tended to question what um, you're learning. So a lot of your wounding came from learning of things, and like even also siblings or things that you skills that you probably didn't have, that you thought you didn't have but actually were there. um,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your experiences with health also, or also in the workplace, like people you worked with, any sort of volunteering thing you did. Um, and Mercury here retrograde means that you tended to really highly question your thoughts, literally like you're going there. But at the same time, because of the intercepted house, it tended to be a little bit more like you knew it was there, but it wasn't connected to, how do you call this? How do I put this way? It's like there was a kind of in a way that it kind of kept you from your learning path into something that's like I would say that you didn't really enjoy university life or academic life or academia and stuff. Like when it gets a little too left brainy, it was kind of just like, I don't understand that, or it's a little too blah 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 blah, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did really well in school, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it didn't interest me. Yeah.
Yeah. It was all kind of just like it was all everything was almost like rote memorization. Everything was all by the book. Everything was so methodical, technical.
Hmm.
Yeah. Even though your parents technically kind of, your relationship with your parents also kind of became like that. Like they did have, they told you often what to do, but not show it. They weren't necessarily per se always leading by example, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, with your progress chart, it's showing me here that now you are with your Venus and Mars um, conjunct. It's called conjunction aspect. It's going into the Sun and Moon. It's you're putting more value and energy into what makes your needs and wants at the same time. Like your
That's
needs,
correct.
yeah. So that means that it's actually becoming more. It's like yeah. So your Virgo side has kind of come out more. It's just like, oh, I value kind of things the way they are. And, with the Virgo energy, it's usually about, I want things this way and it kind of has to remain this way. Like, cleanliness is sort of like an important thing. It's become cleanliness and being neat, being pure. But at the same time, not knowing sometimes what to do with that, particularly when it comes to health, right? You're just like, I don't know. So I don't know if you ever had health problems, particularly with like the lymphatic system, the lymph nodes. What is that one here? I didn't promise. I said I wouldn't go into medical astrology, but I am. Just to kind of give a quick reading. Yeah, the immune system. Okay, the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, yeah, lymphatics, immune system, and the sympathetic nervous system. So, but because it's the moon and the sun, it's the heart, the chest area, and also a bit of the digestion, the stomach, lower back
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, my lower back and my stomach definitely have issues with.
Yeah. I'm seeing here though. Let's see. Your south node was originally okay. It was originally trying to Venus with Neptune. Oh, you have a similar placement as my boyfriend's. He has his Neptune in his first house. Also similar ascendant. Okay. You were the child who just like was very adventurous, I would say. Right?
Mhm.
Or if not, if
Yeah.
you weren't really adventurous, then somebody stopped you. In this case, I would say yourself or perceptions of things when you doubted yourself. But at the same time, you still went for it. You're like kind of like a go
Hmm.
getter. Um, I don't know
Very
if
much so.
yeah, I don't know if you were into horses or very athletic. Like athletics is something that you feel very connected to. In fact, because of your Virgo, even though it's Virgo, the Sun and Moon, there's an instinctive and subconscious drive towards something athletic, something or at least something of that kind of nature where you're moving or traveling, right?
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah, I mean, I can take it traveling and I like hiking and stuff, so just
yeah,
being out in nature.
yeah. With your Neptune in the first house here in retrograde, you tended to be in your formative years, you grew up in a life yet that you had where it was very, what do you call this? You had to be realistic with your imagination, your creativity. Even though you still wanted to. You weren't really in touch with your actual spirituality back then when you were a child. You were kind of like, again, because there was doubts behind it. I feel like it's tied to the past as well. I don't see it here. There's no conjunction between the Neptune and South Node. But your South Node in Sagittarius tells me though that in the past you were, um, because it's trying to Virgo. Sorry, it's trying to Venus retrograde. It's almost like you. Let's see here. Some kind of like you healed with some kind of fire. I don't know. Again, could be with horses or some kind of philosopher. But you kind of did it in secret. There's something in the past that you did in secret that was um, like a priest or something, some kind of magician or priest, or maybe like a traveler. Uh, Maybe I don't use the G word, but the Romani, the Romani people.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a G word for them, right? But that's politically incorrect now. But yeah, there's something about that. So like, or a hipster, or not a hipster, like a hippie sort of feel like very free, wanted to go everywhere, very philosophical, very also very religious in the past, possibly. But with Venus, it had something to do with kind of like being around around the world, or being traveling a lot with what do you call this? Any form of entertainment, because it's in Leo. Your Venus retrograde is in Leo. It has something to do with entertainment in the past, right? In this life, because you didn't really have that, you actually, let's take a look. I'm not seeing the asteroids if there's anything square your south node, but if there is, because of the retrograde in Venus, it's showing me in this life, you're you're learning to kind of put on hold um, things that are creative, things that make you shine, right? So you kind of questioning it a bit more. You're kind of saying, I'm going to, how do you call this? Apply more of my mind into it, make it more logical or practical, um, right? Because in the past you're so used to that. You're very spiritual in the past. You're very intuitive, highly intuitive. But here in this life, you're learning to actually learn to teach that. Here, your soul wants you to go into some sort of informing people of what you've learned, but also practical knowledge, so tools that you would give to people, particularly if you go into a specific kind of contract or agreement, like in a business or any kind of agreement, or anything you just say yes to, even in marriage, relationships. When your North Node here in Gemini means that you are very much like being called to express yourself a bit more, to what do you call this? I guess you can say open yourself up to your mind a lot more, the left brain more, rather than the right brain, because you already know the right brain. That's why channeling comes easily to you, right?
Hmm.
So um, that's what I'm seeing, right? So let's see here. I can see that, I can see the fact that when you're very observant, because but I think what goes on in your head too is just like, is this? I don't know. I feel like with the progressed Mercury, where is it now? It's no longer in retrograde, so you really have less of those doubts that you used to have when you were younger, right? You're quite free, or at least a little bit freer than you were before. But
Hmm.
what I usually see with natal charts or birth charts is they tend to be still the dominant energy. Um, so if there's a part of you that still doubts it, you're here to learn that. That's why your Chiron is in Gemini. Your Chiron Gemini is saying it's like you're wounding with your mind. So something like, when I say wounding, I don't necessarily mean like it's pain, but it is. It's something you learn from and integrate into your life. Because it's in Gemini too, you have to integrate the times that you need to kind of be in your own little world and self, to be like process things and say, okay, what does my intuition say about it? It ties exactly with what you're already doing right now. Like you're going to channeling. It's actually teaching you to not doubt those thoughts, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I completely understand that. That's exactly when I don't doubt it. Any other time I'm questioning
Yeah.
because I'm thinking about it too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and then your path. We're talking about your path. So we did talk about the nodes. Your midheaven used to be in Libra. So back then you were more here to people. The public would see you more as this person who is very. It's very similar places to my boyfriend's. It's very people see you as like a peace-loving kind of individual. Um, and but your core beliefs when you grew up in the family, what they saw you as, or what they kind of assumed you to be, is that person who's very go-getter, kind of just like, okay, she knows what she wants, just go for it, kind of like a leadership position, very assertive, very um renegade like. It's kind of like that. It's like very kind of, go for that. I'm getting this image of like the Harley Davidson.
It's true, and
Yeah.
it's getting me in trouble now
Uh,
because I speak up when things bother me. Like I don't allow anyone to
uh,
disrespect me at this point.
exactly. Well, that's what your midheaven is showing me too. Now your midheaven opposite your nadir, or what's called IC. Your IC is just core beliefs. It's like your inner part of yourself, your inner truth, or what you learn to be your inner truth, your conditioned truth. Because we live in a human shell, meat sack, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's now in Taurus, so that means that you come out more like core beliefs are more like blunt, and people see you as this kind of like, holy crap, she's kind of intimidating. I'm like, oh shit, wasn't she not like that before? Holy crap, what
Mhm.
happened to the peace loving, Benton that we
Mhm.
knew? Yeah, people change. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar too. People used to think I'm just like this kind of like he'll just go along with it. I'm like, no. And that's okay. It's like it's what I call part of the primordial sovereignty because you can be both. You just work with the darker side or what you call what I call not the negative. It's because when we go to the
Mhm.
negative positive, right away we label it as good and bad, right? No, I mean the
Yeah.
constrictive side, the one that's connected to the dark mother, the primordial energy of the void, which is like a processing of not only wounds but kind of like separation. Like what
Mhm.
does that mean, right? So your midheaven in Scorpio is showing me that kind of stuff. You're going to kind of jobs that are more cathartic, they're more intense, they're more like, I want it to be meaningful, I want it to be something. In fact, you probably don't even want to work for someone, right? You want it to be like, I just, you start to want things to be more, again, yes, transcendent, but hugely transformative, transmutative, if that makes sense.
Yes. Completely.
Yeah. So, what else am I seeing here? Your moon has progressed now into, as of today, it's progressed into, the moon is the one that moves quite more frequently. In
Mhm.
about a year, it moves literally like, I think, a degree every year. So
Mhm.
by after about, let's say 1, 2, 3, about 8 years from now, your emotions, what you desire, basic needs will shift into Aries, and it'll be more like it's like a reset. It'll feel like a reset. It'll feel like I'm very curious about this. I wanna be more open with my emotions. Um, I want to see if there's anything tied to the moon is in 22 degrees Pisces now. What's 22 degrees here? Ah, okay. It's actually square your north node. There's your natal north node. So I'm laughing because I find it interesting. Um, sorry, I'm not. Yeah. Anyways,
Oh my God, you're fine.
yeah, I know. Sorry, I just do this. It's part of my process. But because it's square north node, that whole emotion thing you talked about, like with especially expressing your emotion, because it's in Pisces, it wavers,
Mhm.
right? And with it in Pisces, let's take a look at the right here. Your Neptune is no longer retrograde, and your Jupiter is in also in okay. So when you express your emotions, it's fiery. It's not just watery. Um, there's a lot of emotions that come out, but kind of in a way kind of challenges you. I don't want to say interrupts or what do you call it? um, the word challenge is the one I want to use, but it kind of interrupts what your soul wants to go forward into, right? But at the same time, not necessarily. It can be used to keep you awake, to keep you conscious and be more like, am I feeling this? Am I going into myself and grounding myself? Like, okay, what is this? Am I feeling? Instead of projecting it onto others, right? So it's like, okay. And then that becomes more something that you actually learn how to communicate more. Because that's the other thing about having a South Node in Sagittarius. There's a tendency to exaggerate, right? So those are the things that I learned myself. When I
Mhm.
was younger, I used to exaggerate my emotions so much so that when I got into my Scorpio head, literally, and the Sagittarian thing, it's so extreme that we're talking about multiverse, like, let's just put it that way, okay? Literally,
Mhm.
like, it gets super dark. And I'm just like, why am I going there? So, but I've learned from that and said, that, okay, so what is exaggeration for, right? So that's a Sagittarian thing. But there's a gift behind that. Like, there's a gold nugget and everything. So it's going into, like, let's see here. Because you're originally was in 21 degrees here. So usually that number represents something. The degrees in astrology means something too. So let me double check here. 15. I'm gonna cheat because they're called dwads, and I know this is a lot to take in right now, but just let the information go through, of course, just like with any channeling, let it come through. Uh, so let's see here, Sagittarius, 14 degrees, much faster this way too. Oh, okay. So it's in Taurus. So your South Node has a lot to do with having boundaries when you're trying to show yourself to the world, especially when you're trying. It's almost like you're now coming in touch with your sense of how you present yourself to the world based on what you knew in the past, based on your past energies or parallel life energies, or just say, okay, so there's that spirituality, but having more boundaries. This is Taurus, right? And actually learning the enjoyment, the pleasure of this freedom that you could have when you direct that arrow into something more specific and it's more like pinpointed, it's focused, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then, what do I say here? 14 degrees. With that being the North Node, also is 14 degrees in Gemini. It's going to be also the opposite. So now you're getting into the opposite sign of Taurus, which is Scorpio. So your Scorpio energy, the North Node, with relationships now. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily relationship. In general, North Node means that you I guess your soul wants you to be more honest with your thoughts. Your soul wants you to be more like, is this really what I'm feeling, or is this what the unhealthy ego wants? I don't like to separate. I don't like to just call it the ego. I like to say there's healthy ego and unhealthy ego, right? Because
Mhm.
people like to say all the time it's the ego. It's like, well, that means you resist the ego. If you resist the ego, that's just more ego,
Mhm.
right? So so I'm not sure if you've been doing more like things like shadow work as well with what you're doing. Is that
Somewhat, yeah. Not anything official, but I've been working with myself.
okay? Yeah, that's good, right? So yeah, and plus your core beliefs now, like I said before, it's earlier, it's tied to Taurus. That means you're learning to kind of appreciate the third dimension too without being too attached to it, right? So yeah, and that's what I'm going through as well. I think that's why I'm also drawing people like that too. I noticed that. It's like, oh, okay. Let's see here. Do you have any questions? That's what I'm seeing so far when it comes to the nodes themselves. I'm gonna cheat through the yeah. No
No, no,
question.
no. I mean, everything pretty much makes sense is what you're saying.
Okay.
I definitely feel like I'm in a point of transition in my life. What I, believe my core beliefs were before growing up, it's completely different now. Um, and I guess I'm just more open to spirit and stuff like that. I used to question it a lot. Like I grew up in a Puerto Rican household that my mom would go and get her tarot cards read, and I always thought it was BS. But now I see so much different. I did. It was crazy.
It's okay. Yeah, it's totally fine.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
but now I'm so drawn to them, like just even myself. So a lot has changed,
Okay.
especially since losing her. Yeah.
Okay. Do you still do the basic psychic stuff, even though you do channeling? Because it more channeling is more out there, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I still do like I read tarot, but more for myself. I'm Reiki certified, so energy wise, I work with myself with that stuff like
nice.
that.
Okay.
I haven't put myself out there. I feel like I'm being called more to claim who I am at this point in my life,
Yes.
like who I want to be, and
Yeah.
more be more purposeful.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
makes sense. Everything you said about my career, like before, I was really career driven. Now it's more about finding purpose
Yes.
in
Exactly.
the work that I do. Like
Yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
And
We'll see.
yeah, and there's that tenacity that comes from the Scorpio energy. You have your North Node in Scorpio, Midheaven in Scorpio. Those are kind of tied into what's called often called as the mission, and there's the kind of well, I wouldn't say purpose, but living is purpose. Being here and alive, being always in the moment is purpose itself. But in terms of like what your soul can choose to go into, that's what we'll go into. But yeah, that tenacious Scorpio energy. I'm at least I understand it conceptually. I don't know, but I'm Plutonian, so you're experiencing what I'm experiencing my whole life.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm gonna say this, but you probably are experiencing or have been experiencing ego death. You're gonna continue to experience that. So it's a wild ride. I tell you right
Yeah,
now, like Dark Night of the Soul, here we come. But
I feel like that's where I'm at,
yeah, that's fine.
especially with, losing her and then
Yeah,
everything crashed after that. Like, I feel like the whole world was pulled out from under me.
okay.
So, we'll see. I mean, I'm trying, I'm here.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, I kind of want to see what that's saying here about. Yeah, you're very close to your daughter. It says here, Sappho, very close relationship. Um, there was some kind of stuff that happened. I mean, I'm not looking at all the asteroids, but I'm seeing the details with Sappho here. Very close relationship, even for yourself, or at least for you, how you wanted. Um, and but it's opposite Cleopatra. Was there? Did she have some kind of? Mm, was she kind of like Daddy's little girl?
She loved everyone.
She loved
So,
everyone.
not really. She was like my little partner, but she loved everyone. Like,
Okay.
everyone was her friend.
Okay, so that's what the Sappho is showing. There's something about Cleopatra here, because her story is kind of weird. And it was kind of she had actual Cleopatra, like of Egypt. She what was it? She had issues with her siblings, and so she also was very dedicated to her father. She was without when her father passed away, she became her dad. Like she basically, or you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying. So there was something there, and then was your were there times where your daughter was? Sorry to bring this up, but
No, you're fine.
was there times where your daughter was kind of used by people in communities, in schools or playgrounds?
No,
No.
she was very young. She was 3 when she passed, so
Oh,
we didn't get
okay.
there.
So she didn't even.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah. No,
So
that's okay.
at from birth till the time she passed, she was lovable. I mean, she was the kind of kid that would hug strangers that were running down. Like she loved people and she felt their energy. So
Okay. Okay. Well, I would say that's your relationship too with children, right? She reflects you, and as you reflect her as well. She's a mirror to you. She's a mirror to you. Are a mirror to her. It's very much like this similar energy. That's what I'm seeing here with Sappho. Um, okay. So I just thought I'd bring that up because you're talking about. I don't want to be insensitive or anything. I just.
no, you're not at all. I don't
Okay.
mind talking about her. I love talking about her.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. So let's see. I'm gonna look at what you had from past lives. Okay. So Cupido here. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Cupido. Conjunct your Neptune. It's not even conjunct the South Node here. What do we have here? Okay, let me go straight into this one first. So besides what we talked about with what you carried from your past life, because I did mention that we would talk more about your nodes.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm seeing here. Okay, was that actually the 21 degrees? That's right, 21 degrees Gemini. Daphne here is reading that right. So this is my bad sometimes too. So many asteroids I confuse my head. But okay, so Daphne and Aphrodite conjunct your north node. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into my cheat sheet here. You probably see it in the video once it's posted. Uh,
Okay.
okay, so Daphne was the story. Her story was she was chased by Apollo. She was the kind of person who had psychic abilities, intuition, which already comes, you know, like it's with you now. So that totally makes sense. It's past, but because it's in the North Node, it means that um, it's what you're called to do. But because it's in the seventh house, right here, seventh house, it's about relationships. So do you? I don't know about you, but now, but before, did you have any sort of fears about getting into romantic relationships, or kind of were you being chased by people, men, women, whatever?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I used to get bored really easily
Ah,
back
okay.
like in as, a teenager and kid like that, but I've been with my husband now for 24 years.
Okay, so you're
So,
not being chased at all. No one's.
no. I
Okay.
mean, if there are, I'm not noticing.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah. So there's something about Daphne here, but let me double check here. So okay, it's showing me 26 degrees. Was it? Do you feel that? Oh, this is where it becomes kind of challenging. You didn't really have. Was there a part of you that didn't feel like you accomplished things in school as well? Like it was almost kind of like a service sort of thing, like almost like I'm in service of the school rather than the school in service of me kind of thing. Like you were just there
Um,
to fulfill what they wanted. Um,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't feel like I got anything that I wanted out of it besides the certificate that you're supposed to get. I feel like I
Hmm.
proceeded because I had to,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like it wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you go to school like far in like far away places? Did you go to a different university from a different state or like long distance?
N- No, I would have
Okay.
loved to, but no, I didn't.
Okay. So
Uh-uh.
that kind of
And I
makes
didn't go to college till later.
okay, that totally makes sense with Ganymede here. Ganymede was the cupbearer to Zeus, so it usually feels like kind of like the boy toy. Like Ganymede represents boy toy kind of energy, where it's like you're just there to please the older generation kind of thing. You're there to please or to be of service to someone else who is so. But because of the square aspect here, I'm seeing square aspects in astrology just means that there's a huge challenge with this regarding like this, part of a person's life. So your relationship, at least with also with foreigners, do you find that there's issues with foreigners? Like you had they would kind of look to you, but they're like, it's almost like not to say that they were using you, but kind of.
No,
No,
that I can't say.
no, I can't say that.
I mean,
Okay, I'm just putting
not
a
that I know,
comment.
not that I'm aware of.
That's okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see here.
I mean, definitely the school thing. I did really well to try to impress my mom, and she really paid no mind because my brother had learning disabilities, so she was more focused on him.
Okay.
So I feel like I worked really hard for stuff like that, but it really went unnoticed.
Okay. Were there professors that were old enough to be your father or mother?
Oh
There,
yes,
okay,
yeah.
there's some like that. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. So I would say I would say maybe you didn't really get it along also with your professors, right? Like it's kind of like, they were just there. They were just always it's very stereotypical too, because a lot of in academics, it's almost like you seeing them and you know how when they go into write books they write their dissertation or thesis and then you see them and it's just talking talking talking. It's just like these books are like, what am I going to do with this, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. um but were you also surrounded by a lot of young people in even I don't know if you have a business, this would sort of probably apply that you're surrounded by young people or rather the opposite.
I mean, I'm surrounded by young people because I have a bunch of kids myself, and I have custody of my nephew. So,
Business wise? Okay.
um,
Okay.
well, not in business, just in life.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but not in business.
Okay.
No,
Have you ever you've traveled overseas?
I have.
Okay. So you might come across that too. Then in that case, you might still come across that. But again, remember your ninth house is intercepted here, so there is a kind of like still a sort of it's almost like it's far away from you. But you probably again like you keep saying it twice. You said it three times today. I think four times. You said I don't notice it exactly. That's what it is. So it's okay, and it's even if you don't notice it, it's not because you're not supposed to notice it or you are supposed to notice it. It's not that. It's just not in your field of energy, right? So
Right.
that's usually what interception means. That's cool. Let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, so Daphne represents the intuitiveness, the high intuition. Aphrodite is more about the relationships, just like Venus is. But the difference with Aphrodite is she's more of a warrior lover kind of thing, having more compassion, appreciation of things, but also working through your sexuality, desire, rage, jealousy, things of the earthly stuff, earthly love, egoic love, lust and love, those kind of labels. Um,
Hmm.
let's see here. Any sort of idolatry or worship. I don't know. Again, I feel like there's something about that because it's tied to your north node. Um, let's see where your north node is trying to. 21 degrees. 20. Ah, okay. It's trying to Penelope here. So Penelope is in 23 degrees. So Penelope represents commitment to something. She was the wife of an archer. He had this beautiful bow. He was human and he was good at archery, but he was also the only one who's able to tie his arch. Like there was this contest, like he died.
Hmm.
What's his name again? Oh, I totally forgot. But he represents that she represents commitment. So with Penelope here, it means it's fidelity, longevity, preservation. Okay? There's also protection. So when you go into that whole having an actual boundaries and knowing what your turn-offs and turn-offs are,
Hmm.
proving being able to not necessarily prove yourself to others, but to yourself, and
Hmm.
really you showing your strength and your skills, um, and working through anything that is no longer of service to your path, then it'll definitely go with this whole thing with Aphrodite. Aphrodite means that it's not necessarily fame, not that you need to be famous, but it will be about people looking up to you, right? That's what the idolatry thing here. I feel it's something to do with that, right? People looking up to you, people having actual like connection with you.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see here. What's this one? Have you ever done any fostering?
No, but I've always wanted to.
Okay, so she's tied to that. She's about fostering. She's foster systems. Children also maybe who've gone through childhood trauma. That's part of her repressed childhood trauma. um, Children or even others who've gone through some sort of sexual abuse or crime, um, that will be kind of tied to your north node placement as well. Um, Again, it has a lot to do with sex and sexuality as well. Let's see here. Something about roses. That's interesting. Roses, myrrh. You know myrrh, right? I have myrrh here actually. I think it's myrrh. But it's a type of you can burn it like mixed with incense, something like that.
Hmm.
Flooding. There's something about floods. It could be tied to helping people, maybe children who have lost their families. Maybe if there's flooding, I don't know if you live in the United. There's been places where they had flooding. I mean, it's happening in the world today. So yeah. So foster system. That's also rustic lifestyle. I don't know if you've ever wanted to live in a farm. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I do. That's like my dreams. I have my own little compound and
Cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I want a cabin. Somewhere remote and somewhere. where all the elements are there. You got the
Hmm.
fire, air, earth, water. Yeah,
Yes.
yes. And both me and my boyfriend want that. I was like, oh yes, oh, okay. But speaking of the whole thing with the whole foster stuff, what do you think about surrogacy? Because that's also sorry, I don't. I don't know. Sorry if it's touching.
No, no, you're not touching anything. I couldn't do surrogacy. My husband would not go for that.
Oh, okay, okay. No, no, it's fine.
But
Or
I considered that in the past, honestly.
okay, okay, yeah. This is your birth chart, so most likely it might apply to a past as well. Okay, that totally makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And remember the potential is anywhere, right? So, okay. So now let's take a look at the next set of asteroids. Let's see here.
The fostering thing makes sense though, because I have custody of my nephew and he has a lot of trauma.
That's fine. Yeah, yeah. It can come in that form too, right? So it's
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. Let's see what you have from the past life. Nothing yet here, do I? Cupid is not there. Oh, now it's showing me Neptune conjunct your south node. See, I knew that. Okay. Um, let's look into my other chart. 1 second here. Neptune. Okay, let's see. You must have been a mystic as well in the past.
Mm.
Mm, maybe you worked in some sort of like what do you call it, lighthouse, where there's lighthouses where there's a lot of fog. That could also
Hmm.
mean Ireland. I'm not using the asteroids. There are asteroids that are tied to places. I'm not using that right now. But if it's fog, anywhere there's fog or mist, yeah,
Hmm.
you must have lived there, or you must have been surrounded by that. Um, you must have been also like a poet. Um, because of the placement in Sagittarius.
Hmm.
Hmm. Have you ever done any hypnosis? Well, okay, there's trance here, but actual hypno. Do you feel like you've done that in the past too? Because I feel like that's why you're in trance.
As far as this life or a different or
No,
a
that's
past
from the
life?
past. From parallel lives? Why you do that now? Because I feel like there's something tied to the past. Why you
I
do?
mean, hypnosis is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm being drawn to it even this life. So I can see myself definitely.
Okay. Cool. Definitely like some kind of magician. I mean, it could be just like an illusionist magician or an actual like witch or sorcerer of some kind. That wouldn't be surprising. So that could have been one of
Okay.
your past lives. Could also have been some sort of like a photographer. Okay. A telepath. Okay. Metaphysician. Um, I don't know if you also are interested in doing hypnotherapy because that's also part of what you did in past life.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna state all the stuff that also tied to Neptune. I'm just gonna state them, okay?
Hmm.
Because it's Neptune. Neptune deals with illusions and delusions, so it could also have been like glamour, that kind of stuff, like sort of a martyr of some kind, like a saint, maybe not necessarily a canonized saint. Sorry, I grew up
Hmm.
Catholic. So, oh, you're
I did too.
okay. There you go. So canonization of people, you become saints. So I don't know if you had a sort of association with a saint or someone who's canonized and stuff. A lot of loving energy, but because it's retrograde, it's showing me that it wasn't shown. People didn't see that. Right? You're very loving to the people you were with. Let me double check what that was. Really. Ah, okay. So yeah, it is tied to the Venus here, Leo, like I said, like I read earlier. But 24, I think it was mostly when you travel. I feel like in the past you traveled alone. You were kind of like a lone traveler, but you were very kind and giving, and like it's almost, yeah, and you gave a lot of. It's almost like the Buddha. It's like that. I don't know, some kind of like monk, I would say,
Okay.
in the past, right? What else do I see here? Very spiritual, of course. We already said that. You worked with probably like liquids. Um, Musician. You was also probably been also a musician in the 20th century. You probably were in the entertainment industry. Maybe I don't necessarily want to say model, but probably. But again, it was like a one-time sort of one-time wonder model, a one-time wonder musician, some kind of thing like that. Maybe back in I'm getting 45 or 46. The number's 45,
Mhm.
46. Um, let's see here. What's that? And this is a funny one. A con artist. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, but I don't know. I
It's
don't.
okay.
Yeah. Square two. Minus 26 degrees. Square two. So yeah, maybe you kind of went from. I feel like there's something to do with hopping from one household to another, because of the North Node in with Aphrodite there with the fostering. There's something about you being placed in the past to the system, like you were kind of like a foster child too. So that's why in this life you're being called. So you kind of had to manipulate yourself, so to speak, in terms of like, I don't like this family, so kind of, those kind of stories, right? So it's so here this
Mhm.
lifetime you're learning to be like, no, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna be loving. I'm gonna be more, not just loving, unconditional loving, but when you hear the word like when you love someone, it's good, okay, it's enough. But if you don't
Mhm.
have what goes beyond the what's called the honeymoon phase, or even
Mhm.
in friendships or even family, like that honeymoon phase, it's like you want to move past that and be more like, okay, this is the commitment we have each other. Like we work through the dark stuff and you learn from them
Mhm.
together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Teal Swan would say, it's like the third option. You want it always a win-win, not
Mhm.
not a zero-sum game. That's what she always refers to when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, so that's the one with Neptune. What else here? Uh, Maybe alcoholism or drugs were probably part of the past lives. I don't know, or some kind of
Mhm.
something that you escape to. Any form of escape is every time I see Neptune here. But again, it's retrograde. So it means that you were probably tempted into it, and maybe families. It's square her abundance. So that means abundancia. That one, it is abundance,
Mhm.
but it means there. So that means that there is a lot of it. So that means that there must have been a lot of challenges with the home. So I think it kind of reflects back to this life where maybe you were surrounded by people who have become addicts, and you're kind of like, not for me, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and you just kind of stood your ground and it's like, no, that's not my thing. It's not there. It's not, no, no. So because you already you know better, right? So that's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay, good. All right. What else am I seeing here? Okay, so North Node. Oh, this is beautiful. You have Varuna. Okay, and academia. That's interesting. How academia? Academia doesn't necessarily mean academia. It means also um, how I feel it is for you is um, an organization of thought, of logic, of making use of information that you've learned so that it becomes practical, something that you can actually work with and learn from, like really learn from, not just conceptually understand, but actually understand.
Mhm.
Um, with Varuna here, I love this one. Varuna is a dwarf planet that's out there past Pluto, and he is the higher vibration of Saturn. For those who know Saturn, if you know about Saturn, he was Cronus. He limited his children. He tried to eat his children because he didn't want to be conquered. He didn't want to be dethroned, or what's the word? What's the word? Something. Um, he basically kicked off the throne, right? um,
Yeah. Dethroned.
Dethroned. Yeah. There's another word for it, but anyways, so he basically created limitations. He's about fear. So Saturn's often about fear. Varuna is not about that. Varuna is a Hindu god of the ocean. So he's about connections, cohesion, understanding that you can always accomplish something by going with natural, universal, and divine, and spiritual, and whole um, timing, right? So um, he's a little complicated at times. Let me see here. Because he's tied to your North Node, I'm going to do this one. This one's beautiful. So understanding the law of one. I don't know if you've heard about this through intergalactic. Do you have you connected with intergalactic guides?
I have,
You
but only once.
okay?
It's very heavy.
Okay. I have a mantis. I saw a mantis. I think I have a mantis and a gray. I don't know what it was. They just showed up. They didn't come in. They just showed themselves. One was right in front of me. I was like, okay, it's interesting. So I didn't realize I have a mantis. I'm like, okay. So I don't really talk to them, but I've been told that I connect through. I have a connection to intergalactic, whatever. So the reason I'm saying that is because they usually talk about the law of one, of course, meaning that everything is connected, right? You understand that already. So
Yeah.
this is Varuna. He's about cohesion, law of one, being connected. So sort of like that whole what I'm seeing. Right, this came to me every time I do the research with my asteroids and all these stuff, my own research. It's like my guide. Just I have a guide that just feeds information to me and goes like, look this up, and it's like, oh my god. So I keep typing and keep typing, literally to the point where I think I developed sciatica because I've been sitting a lot. But I love it, so it's good.
Hmm.
Um, so seeing above, over, on, in, within, below, and beyond. This is kind of Varuna.
Hmm.
Um, so it's also about contraction and release. So the primeval and primordial. Again, tied back to the Aphrodite thing, sexual energy and power. So again, it's not necessarily sex, right? But sexual energy. It's the creative energy. So the creative impulse, right? That's in us, the inner intelligence. But also kind of making that into something substantial. And also being in touch with your multiple aspects of yourself. So learning about your fragmentation, having infinite children, that's a beautiful one. So I don't know if you've ever asked if you have hybrid children. I see that a lot with Bashar. Do I have hybrid?
No, I have not.
Okay, cool. I wouldn't be surprised if your daughter was hybrid. I mean, technically, we are hybrids. So
She was very different. Like honestly, I have 5 children, and she is
yeah.
very different from all of them.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, so there you go. So that totally makes sense. There you go. And knowing yourself more, that's part of your process. Experiential wisdom, um, being learning about your purity, your sanctity, pure will, not not the unhealthy ego will, or as Bashar puts it, the ego is like the goggles, right? It's the mask we wear to see the
Hmm.
world, right? Okay, so your higher self, and all this stuff. Dharma, this is about dharma, manifesting. Okay, upholding law. This could also be literal. Reverence, irreverence, or obedience versus or dominance and obedience. That could be part of that too. General stuff here about that kind of stuff. Servility, willingness, accordance, kind of stuff. Divine retribution. You know, when growing up Catholic, you've heard what is it? Um, what is it? Vengeance is mine.
Hmm.
That kind of stuff, right? So fate and destiny, inescapable truths, result over consequence. So when we're talking about that, when we have limitations, we're talking about Saturn. Saturn usually often represents. So let's take a look at where your Saturn is. I totally forgot. Oh, okay, it's in your here. That's actually very interesting. Huh? It is trying your North Node. There's something there. I knew that there was something there. So with Saturn there, you naturally flow with learning from the limitations that you need to learn from when it comes to income that you earn or your aspirations. This is tied to the 11th house, even though it's in the 10th house here. Again, it might be confusing for you, but I'm just saying that when it comes to jobs that you've been in, um, there was a lot of limitations there, but it actually helped you progress you forward into what you really need to get into, right? So, um, am I seeing that right? Is that even trying? Oh no, it's trying to mind us. Why did I see that trying? I am blind today. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. Well, anyways, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Sorry, this happens sometimes when I'm reading things because of all these asteroids. It happens. It's fine. So, but it is Varuna is the higher vibration of Saturn. So Saturn often represents again karma. So what we get into. So I'm still gonna go into why Saturn is here for you with limitations you've had with like with income, the money that you get from your boss or employers, um, but also your things that inspire you, people that you connect with on a friendship level, like communities. Um, so that means that you don't often go out there, right? You don't often connect with a lot of people. Maybe, of course, it has changed, but typically before, being in a sort of community or group or social group or club, whatever you have, there was a lot of limitations. But with Varuna in your North Node, it's showing me that you can go past that and say, okay, well, that's not meant for me. This something else is meant for me, right? You kind of get it. You kind of get the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So on a more practical level, let's take a look. Being also unshakable. Okay, kind of just like standing your ground, but in a very contemplative way, in a very like this is my truth and that's your truth and that's okay, right? Um, Conviction. Okay, natural justice or like I guess you can say divine justice, right? Seeing through lies. Okay, that's in the seventh house. Silence things that are hidden, things that are silent. Brooding. I don't think you do that at all anymore. Things that are denied. Things that we swear to each other, to ourselves. Frailty. There's a lot of things here, but I'm gonna go into. Let's see here. Have you been given a reading, or have you ever noticed that you can be considered a shapeshifter?
No,
Okay.
that's cool though.
Yeah. But it says here, Varuna is shapeshifting. So I wouldn't be surprised if I were to do a galactic chart reading for you. There could be something tied to the constellation Lyra.
Mm.
Those are shapeshifters. They were in India apparently back then, thousands of years ago. More than hundreds. Yeah. So they were shapeshifters. So that totally makes sense. Um, Sorry. What else is Varuna here? Okay. Understanding the the reality of I don't want to say Big Bang, but like how things are formed. So if it's tied to Big Bang, it's kind of like with black holes or something like the whole creative process of starting a new kind of thing, right? Um, really creating from water as well. I don't know if you're drawn to water more now. I know you're a Virgo, but do you feel you're drawn
Yeah.
to water? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you drawn to like origin stories, origin myth stories? Are you drawn to those now? You going into
I do. Yeah.
okay, okay,
Much more now.
okay, cool. Any sort of cosmic stuff, constellations, time and space, basic almost like astronomy, um, something like that. Stars, okay. I don't want to mention this, but I have to. It's fire and forest fires, or any kind of burning, or even symbolically, right? That kind of stuff where you need to clear things out and make for the new. Um, Again, this whole thing with the Pluto thing, that's part of happening, right? It says darkness here, right? But also illumination, right? We see light brightest. The light shines brightest in the dark, basically, right? So again, that's with the dark night of the soul, as well. Um, do you also I guess with your sun now in Libra, do you feel more energized with wind? Do you feel like you can breathe when you see wind and air come through you? Do you feel like you just can you feel that sometimes? Because I know naturally for me, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it does. I
Okay.
mean, even in moments where I'm in high stress, I have to stop and like physically breathe in, like make myself. So yeah, it calms me.
Okay. Awesome. What about lightning and that kind of stuff?
I love it.
Okay. There you go. Okay. So
I
yeah.
love the rain. I love
Awesome.
the storms.
There you go. So that's part of the growth that you okay, cool. So the ebb and flow of life. Also working a lot more with moist earth and soil because you're earth, right? But then there's that water thing there. So do you work with plants? Like, do you grow things through water? Like, those water pots that grow plants?
Yeah, I have plants growing in water right now.
Okay, awesome. Do you would you like to, are you feeling to being called to not necessarily live, but go to a place where there's lots of oceans, rivers, streams, lakes, seas, coastlines, maritime?
Yes.
Okay, okay, cool. Any, is your husband in the Navy or was in the Navy or ships, something like that?
No,
No,
he was
no.
not.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, something about also rain. I'm sure you love rain because of the water. Um,
Hmm.
fluidity, water, moisture, extra. Uh, so yeah. So this ties in with the whole like wanting to be in a rustic area where there's a lot of all the elements involved, including like probably landscapes that are wide, a lot of land
Hmm.
masses. Okay, mountains as well, lots of
Hmm.
flowers, specifically the following flowers: aquatic flowers like lilies. I think lilies are
Hmm.
and lotuses. Okay.
Hmm.
What's this one? Churning butter. That's interesting. How did I get that? Churning butter, nuts and seeds. I don't know about chemistry here. There's something about natural chemical process. Gases, liquids, and solids. I don't know if you're into chemistry. If you want to add that to your healing modalities.
Hmm.
Um, let's see.
Interesting.
Warriors, soldiers, kings, chiefs. There's something about that kind of leadership position. Um, what did what did I say? Your North Node? It's still in Gemini, but if it's moving backwards, it's gonna go into Taurus much later in the future. Um, hmm. It's still kind of a leadership sort of position. There's some sort of leadership position still, right? So, um, what else is that? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. So some sort of leadership position. Maybe it's I don't know if that it rings a bell. I don't know. Having also some kind of followers. You can say disciples or followers or something like that. But sort of people who follow you. So this could mean that it could be tied to social media or to business. It doesn't necessarily mean business, but people following you, right? That's why I mentioned Daphne earlier. That totally makes sense now. It's coming back. Um, herding, shepherds, so the farm thing. Um, working with the law. I don't know if you've ever got into that. It's a little different. That's interesting. Like a minister, a governor, or maybe something. I don't know if your husband's in that, or architecture, being a physician or a doctor. Um, was let's see here. Okay, it says I don't know why this is coming out. I don't know what it is, but can you tell me about this, enlighten me on this? But it feels like the placement here is showing multiple. I don't want to say multiple partners because you are already married, but there's something about that. Can you? I don't know what it is. Was that? I don't know what it is, or maybe because of. Okay, let me double check. Let me take a look at the chart. Karuna, Square 19. Did your siblings have multiple partners? One of your siblings?
No, my sister's passed away. I mean,
Hmm.
shoot, whatever, but no, my brother, no.
Oh, okay. It could mean also like your immediate environment, like neighbors. Did you live with neighbors who were like that, polyamorous?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, there you
yeah.
go. I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
used to live in Philly in a row home, so that pretty
ah,
much is that.
okay,
Now I have space,
okay,
thankfully, because I need the space.
okay. The multiple children does come in here as well, so that makes sense. Um, uh, what do you call this? Naturally, this showed if I had read this to you way before, I would have said, "Oh yeah, you'll be betrothed, you'll be engaged, you'll have a fiance, uh, that kind of stuff." It shows that here, so yay, okay. But it also means the opposite. But I feel like that's tied to your neighbors.
Mm.
I don't know. Did your neighbors constantly break up and
Yeah, I mean, I can take that.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you've had progenies? Maybe your children, maybe foster, like, I feel like it's tied to the foster system thing I said earlier.
Hmm, not sure yet.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Let's see here. Circumference, something about the environment. So that's about. Hmm. Did you move because of kidnappings? Was there a lot of kidnappings in neighborhoods you were in?
I moved because it was just a bad area.
Okay.
So I don't know about kidnappings, but there was definitely crime and stuff going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Okay. So you must have moved to a place maybe where you are there bridges where you are? A lot of
Oh, I go past the bridge.
okay.
Yeah, I live in Jersey, so
Okay. Did you move westward or do you feel called to move westward?
I feel called to move westward.
Okay.
We originally were supposed to move to Washington State,
Okay.
but it just didn't happen.
Okay. Okay. There's something about weather vanes or directions. Something about. I feel like it's symbolic. I feel like it's sort of like where you're supposed to head. I don't know what it is. There's also
Mm.
what? Yeah. Sorry. Hmm?
No, no, I
Okay.
just said, hmm.
Okay. There's also something about ceremonial wine or alcohol. Sort of like blessed liquid, or being Catholic, there's that holy water sort of stuff. I don't know. There's something about that.
Hmm.
Unless you lived with a neighbor where there were also priests, like something about that.
I mean, I live in a neighborhood where we have a winery,
Okay. Okay, that's still liquid. Yeah,
not
that's still
too
fine.
far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still fine. Okay. Were there also a lot of like rice, coconuts, coastal fruits and vegetables, or maybe where you are now?
No, maybe where it's where I'm going.
Okay, okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Tobacco is also included here. Maybe back then you had neighbors or places you lived in where there were a lot of like remains or scraps or debris, which can mean that it could be used for things, right? It doesn't necessarily like but just because there's debris doesn't mean it's like it's messy. You can
Mhm.
always find a gold nugget. You always find a gold in everything. Are you feel? Do you also feel? I don't know if you feel called to do any sort of like sewing, clothing, like that kind of stuff,
Um,
garments,
my
fibers.
husband does. Yeah, my
Okay, so
husband wants to do that.
because it's in the seventh house. Okay, there you go. Okay, sure.
He
So
actually was looking up sewing classes today.
awesome. That's nice. It's good to see not non stereotypical gender roles. I love seeing that. It's like oh, goodness. I'm okay with the gender stereotypical roles, but let's mix it up too, right? I don't. Yeah. What is this one? Mm, restraints of any kind. I don't know. Are there places where the sorry?
I actually am orienting at a psych hospital and they do restraints there. And we were just learning that this week. That's funny.
Okay. So what? Yeah. That also includes like things like handcuffs, shackles, chains. Again, it could be symbolic, it could be literal. Binders of any kind. Because it's tied to the clothing thing I said earlier. This includes like beams and shafts, obelisks, towers, maybe even pedestals and pillars. There's something about binding. This is a Varuna. He's about binding, gluing together. So there's something about that, but also moisture, right? And also cords. So if you're tying cords, in this case, it's also about the marriage that you have with your husband, but it also could mean like cutting cords with other people in the past. I don't know if you've cut cords with siblings or you are still in the cord with them, or it's good or something like that. But
Yeah, I don't deal too much with my brother, so
okay,
that possibly could be it.
that's okay. Yeah, this also because it also ties in with mysteries and secrets. Have you ever been curious about espionage?
I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Not really myself, but
that's
yeah,
okay.
that's interesting
Um,
to hear stories.
Now we go into dreams as well. So that includes dream states, REM, dream analysis, astral projection, leaving your body, the subconscious, right? So it's tied into what you're doing already.
Mhm.
Hair, something to do with hair, um, sight and you're seeing with your eyes. Also, cerumen or earwax. There's something about earwax. Breath and breathing, breath and breathing. Sorry, because I saw semen here. Um, abdominal swelling or inflammation. This probably could be tied to something of if you were to get it, but I'm not saying you have it. I'm just saying
I just had abdominal swelling
okay,
about 2 weeks ago, yeah.
okay.
And they didn't know where it was coming from.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was in the hospital and then I had abdominal swelling. That's why I was in there. Inflammation.
What was two
I
weeks
thought it
ago?
was grief manifesting in my body, honestly.
Let's take a look at that one. We had Mars, Mercury transiting your 12th house last 2 weeks ago. Uranus is still in your transiting your 6th house. Um, so it's I would say something tied to the nervous system, but also possibly because you have the moon here. Um, let's see if it's tied to that's 0 degrees. 1 second here. Yeah, it's tied to the immune system, but again, because it's Uranus, Uranus often represents in medical astrology unexplained conditions. But we have here the moon, Jupiter. Jupiter means there's an excess of something. Were you eating oily food?
Mm, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay,
I don't generally eat too oily foods.
okay, okay. Must have been something in excess because usually Jupiter represents that kind of stuff. Okay, I just kind of curious. Okay, that's already past. It's okay. Never mind. All right. What was I saying with Verona here? Okay, let's see here. So, you must also then be. Where did we stop off here? Something about the backbone, feet, your limbs, arms, especially if it feels kind of tight or stiffness.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever experienced paralysis, something similar to that. Um, any sort of heart stuff continues. Let's see what happens there. Okay, it looks like it's still running. All right, so welcome back. Okay, hello. Hi. There's something sometimes I don't know about technology, and that's totally fine. Okay, so we're talking about. Okay, so here's so what did I see for Runa here? Okay, so something also to do. We talked about the layers of the brain. I think we did. I'm not sure. Um, Virility. So, your husband must be really handsome. It says here, youthful look, handsomeness.
He
Okay,
is. He
okay,
does look young too.
okay, okay. He's a good build as well, good body. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, I just have to put that in. Just seventh house. Okay. Are you into metaphysics or metaphysical things now? You feel?
I am. I mean, I feel like I'm getting into more and more things at this point.
Okay.
So
Okay, that makes sense.
that has to do with spirituality. So that's, yeah,
Makes sense.
definitely so.
Okay. Meditative processing as well. So I guess you want to go in more into that, like, where it's not necessarily about technique or methodology anymore. It's literally like, right? So, um, how about pedagogy or teaching? Because I feel like we talked about it earlier, but the actual, have you ever? Do you feel like
For,
anything?
I mean, I feel like I want to teach.
Uh huh.
And I feel like I'm being drawn to that,
Okay.
but we'll see.
Okay. Okay. So have you been doing a lot of like going through a lot of maybe this is more figurative, like testing, being tested, or actual tests.
I mean, I've been taking a lot of courses
Ah,
and
okay.
different things, and yeah,
Okay.
and both for my career as well as spirituality wise.
Okay.
I'm
Makes sense.
taking a lot of different courses.
Okay. The following animals, I don't know if you've been drawn to them, because this also could be tied to the whole. adoption thing or like fostering thing, but these specific animals: monkeys, elephants, rams, crocodiles, birds, swans, flamingos, vultures, and aquatic
Vultures are
creatures.
big.
Vultures. Oh, okay. Okay.
Vultures are big. That's one of my signs for my daughter. She sends me vultures all the time.
Oh, ooh, I've never seen a real vulture. Oh, wow. Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
I've had one fly down to stand in front of my car.
Nice. What did you have to ask for the sign, or you just at first, or at the beginning, or was it you just?
No, she sends me vultures and she sends my hunt to the eagles.
Hmm.
So, and
Okay.
when I looked it up, in the Egyptian culture, vultures are linked to motherhood.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense. Yeah, there you
yeah,
go. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's wonderful. I've never seen a vulture in my, like in not in person.
I-
So,
I'll send you pictures.
ooh,
I got a
yes. Okay,
bunch.
cool. Yeah, they're highly misunderstood. I would say. I don't know. Maybe not now. Maybe still. I don't know. Because yeah. But they're scavengers for a reason. Like scavenging isn't necessarily, because humans we like to label things, right? So,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
messengers though between this plane and the other plane as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, makes sense. Ah, reminds you of Anubis. Yeah. Okay, cool. Animals both in air and water as well. I don't know if you heard that. So doing more rituals. I don't know if you've been doing more rituals. Let's see
yeah,
here.
I feel like I'm being called to perform rituals too,
Okay.
like teach them and
Mm-hmm. Okay. And also definitely being the healing craft, healing through water. That's a definite. Through medicine as well, remedies, herbs. Okay. This one's more of a past thing. I don't know if you ever tried archery itself or something symbolic. Maybe. I don't know. No? Okay. That's fine. That's cool. It's tied to that. Any sort of contracts or agreements? Okay, we kind of went through that. Outreach programs, rescue programs, rescuing, um, let's see here, interventions. I think that's more of the neighbor in the past, like violations, like gambling, murder, the negative stuff. Um, Donations of any kind, severance pays, reprimands, debt, legal matters, unimposed or unenforced laws or regulations, bylaws, um, because it's still tied to Varuna. So natural law, uh, because of the metaphysics stuff, I don't know if chemistry is tied to this one, but pure unmixed or undiluted substances or crystalline structures or crystals. That could also mean because we are becoming more crystalline, so crystallization, but also means like gemstones, working with gemstones, right? Specifically pearls, lapis lazuli, the colors gold, black, white. Um, let's see here. I want to say planes. I don't know. There's something about planes and ships. I don't know. Let's see here. What else? So metaphysics? Are you also into the stars? Like, do you use telescopes?
I mean I look at the stars all the time,
Okay, okay,
not necessarily with a telescope.
okay. That's fine. Are you into costume play, like cosplay stuff?
Mm,
There's something
all
about
right.
this here. Okay, never mind. And specifically numerology related numbers 10, or rather 1, specifically 1, 100, 1,000. But 1, it comes up to 1, but yeah. And also threes. So,
Threes are big for me, and so are ones. I see ones all the time, and threes.
okay. So there you go. So just not a coincidence. I do not believe in coincidences anymore. Um,
Nothing is a coincidence.
no. Yeah, exactly. Uh, let's see here. How are we for time? Are you okay? Like you got cut off there for a bit in the recording. Keep okay. We'll keep going. Let's see here. You also have that Nemesis even. Yeah, Nemesis Hephaestus. So Nemesis was tied to memories. Um, so that means that you're going through some sort of. It's also tied to past life recollection and karma. But also kind of having, developing memory or having that sort of working with your memory and your gifts also. Eloquence is also part of this one. Being astute, multi-talented. That's another one. That's also ties in with your Virgo placement and your Gemini. Both are multifaceted. Um, things of the unseen. That kind of already we don't know what that is. Limbo, awareness of emotions and memories. Okay. A karmic completion. So again, we moved into Dharma, right? We talked about Varuna. So this is more about that karmic completion. Timelessness. So past, present, future. The fourth dimension. Genealogy. I don't know if you've been going into genealogy or history. Anything historic. Mm, mathematical stuff, operations. Maybe that was, I feel like that's something to do with with elementary school, right? It was like you hated math.
Math doesn't really bother me. I'm pretty good at math.
You're gonna, okay, really? It was square to your third house. Okay, okay. I'm not looking at the other stuff. I'm seeing what I'm seeing here. Uh, cenotaphs, memorial days, cenotaphs, mortuary roll. I think cenotaphs are like those. They're kind of like statues, but they commemorate the dead or something like that. I think that's what it
Mhm.
is. Accuracy of speech and communication, intelligence. The number's 9. Um, elixirs that are liquid, so liquid elixirs, of course. I don't know if you use that sometimes. The dream stuff that's popping up again. So dream recall, dream visions, or
Yeah, my is that saying that there's a block there? Because I swear I can't recall my dreams right now.
what gemstones do you have?
What gemstones do I have? I have
Yeah.
a bunch, but
Uh,
um, I have labradorite, I have fluorite, I have amazonite, I have a lot of things.
okay.
What do I need?
Nephrite. Look up nephrite. Nephrite. It's I sleep with it. I literally remember my dreams more because of that. And also
Okay.
prehnite. Prehnite. Prehnite.
PreN.
Prehnite. I think it's with an H.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're good for lucid dreaming. Yeah. And if you
I
want to
will be
go,
getting
if
that.
you want to go more into the dreaming of like also connected to the past, but also to help you sleep, just in case.
Hmm.
um, when I say just in case, because of your Virgo placement, it's opposite of Pisces, and Pisces is very sensitive. So yeah, Howlite, Howlite. That's good for past life stuff, and it's good for sleeping. I sleep with it every night.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the good ones. I could send you a list too, but it's huge. It's a huge list of. I like my cheat sheets, my lists. I like that.
I'll take it definitely.
Okay, I'll send. I'll put that in here as a reminder. Just making sure I don't forget to uh, gemstone list. Okay, got it. Okay, let's see. Where did we end off? Oh, yeah. So, but you could also do on honoromancy. Do you know what that is? Honoromancy. Let me double check
Mm-mm.
what that is. Oneirromancy. Yeah, divination of dreams. So basically dream analysis, but in this case it's divination. So I guess that would mean that if you record yourself dreaming, have you ever
Mm.
tried that? You can do that.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So dream interpretation. You can have a dream dictionary as well. And this one's more about, yes, is this also challenging channeling, but this is also mediumship, so communication with or access to the dead or past lives. But this also means akashic records. So I'm learning that myself too. I'm not learning it officially, but apparently I have that. So
Yeah, I've gone in one time just through a meditation, but I want to access it more.
okay, so I definitely will send you that gemstone list. There are gemstones tied to that. So
Okay.
you yeah, I use them and it totally works. It's like holy crap. One of them is one of the beautiful ones. Just in case, I'll tell you what they are. Write it down. What is it called? Petrified wood. And
I have some.
oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Don't forget to cleanse it with. They say moonlight, but I like cleansing it with what is that? Incense, so sage. But there's also golden healer. Those two, tied with and tied with. You know what? I'll send you the list still, but those are just in case. Okay. So those last.
Okay.
Okay. I'll send it to you. Okay. I don't want to waste time. Keep looking. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So there is that, and also mediumship akashic, and that's that for Nemesis. Hephaestus is more about. You've heard of Hephaestus in Greek mythology, have you?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, you have.
Hmm.
Okay. So he's about having uniqueness. He's about ingenuity. That explains the foot. Was it you? No, there's someone else who had a foot thing. Or was that also you?
You said a foot thing for me too, but I can't
Okay.
recall.
Okay. So there's something about the foot there too. But so it's yeah. I get gout, so my boyfriend has also a foot thing. So apparently it's common or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Human body. Um, let's see here. Ostracism, prodigal son. Uh, things with to do with the mother. Okay. Uh, Parthid Parthenogenous children. So something to do with, I think, having two fathers. Miracle births. Again, disabilities or handicapped or lameness. That's just what they call it, but that's what I'm reading here. Working with technology, forgery, or forging, artistry, artisans being as blacksmith, carpentry, craftsmanship, crafting, that kind of stuff. Anvils, hammers, okay, naturally. Um, Volcanoes, working with metal or metallurgy, that kind of stuff. I don't know if you're into weaponry, or maybe your husband is kind of into the metal stuff. Maybe he was into it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Or neighbors, something to do with neighbors as well. Something about that. High tech and state of the art creations or innovations, robots and robotics, AI. That's already common with many people, so I'm not going to specify that. But engineering and inventors, mm, uh, something about wheelchair. Maybe that's something to do with your neighbors, your siblings,
I
maybe.
mean, I'm a nurse, so
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Uh, any sort of disability, as they call it, you know. Special ed children, special ed. You work with children like that as well.
um no, but
Okay.
I think my nephew's special ed.
What they
Like
call
he
special
has,
ed.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Peripheral neuropathy. I forgot what that is. Peripheral? Isn't that like? Yeah.
That's your extremities, and then neuropathy is like nerves.
Ah.
The absence of nerves or inflammation of nerves or
Okay. So peripheral neuropathy. So something about something behind. Okay. Cool. Um, I would. I'm just saying this. Okay. Skin cancer. I don't know. um, ar- arsenicosis. I don't know what that is. From
mm,
arson. I don't know what it is. Snake bites. Hemorrhages. Mules. Horses. The horses thing I mentioned earlier because of Sagittarius in your past life. Okay. What else do we have here? Okay, so that's that. What else? What's going on here? Sorry, one
you're
second.
frozen. Oh, I thought you froze.
Oh no, no, sorry. No, no, I'm here. Okay. Oh, that's where am I going here? That was 2212. We have designations of numbers assigned to asteroids and all those things because of astronomy. It's very mathematical. Let's see here. So in the past, the gifts that you've been able to bring is, so we have here the asteroid Hebe. Hebe is basically about beauty. She was, I believe, the goddess of. I think she was a muse. I'm not sure. But basically, rejuvenative beauty, youthfulness. So, um, that could only mean that back then you were very like that. You were beautiful. You had beautiful, whatever, all of that stuff, right? Very clean as well. Very simple, living a simple life. I think that kind of ties in why you enjoyed the rustic lifestyle, or rustic, being in rustic locations. You know,
Yeah.
uh, you had some sort of very life-giving sort of energy as well. Very unique. Okay. Um, I would say you also had probably like miracle births, pregnancies. Uh, um, so you probably also, that's why you are a nurse as well. There's something tied to that in past life. You're definitely also into arts or music. Um, Something about households, like you kind of, I don't know if it's something to do with being like a caretaker or some sort of like, what do you call those? Something about households. So what is that tied to? I don't know. Domestic affairs or service, culinary service. Okay, it's looking like a cook, caterer, that kind of stuff. Retirement also is part of this one. Retirement, like maybe in, what do you call those? In a nursing home or old folks home or something like that. There are different names for that, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you had lifelong employment back then, and also working after you retired. Possibly also a waitress, a hostess or host, or Mary's, maybe also, oh yes, the priest thing, because it says her holy matrimony. Okay. You might also have been a virgin in the past. Doesn't matter. Male, female, doesn't matter. You were probably also in one life you were like a teenager, so very youthful as well. Um, what is this? You believe probably like some sort of decency or like very, very like kind of elegancy. I don't know what to call it. I want to say decency. That could mean many things. Very youthful, of course. You had you knew about how to reduce inflammation in the body as well. So anti-aging medicine, anti-aging preventative medicine, curative medicine, anything to do with alkaline antioxidants. Also HRT, collagen. Okay. Um, the fact that you're being called to have this sort of expressing yourself, is there something about the past where you had to use your voice a lot? Um, Maybe you also liked doves and eagles back then. This ties into the vulture thing, eh? Mimicry, or at least animals that mimicked, like parrots, for example.
Hmm.
Let's see here. There's something about apples and nectars, lettuce, the word ambrosia. There's something about ambrosia there. Okay. Or you could have been the opposite of the decent, which is like you just didn't mind being naked. I don't know if you're back then, right? So in the past parallel lives, again, we could be anything, right? So again, this includes flashing and flashers, exhibitionism or voyeurism, striptease or strippers, being exotic dancer, um, physical freedom or marital captivity, um, which I feel like I feel in the past you probably got too tired. I think in your maybe in one of your maybe in the most recent one. I don't know. The life review, you said, "I'm gonna not be the nudist anymore. I'm gonna be something. More. I'm not gonna be the, what's that word we have? Uh, Someone who sleeps around. What's that one? What's that English word?
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about. That word. Okay, so there's that.
Promiscuous.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I don't know how to speak English. I come from a Filipino background, so. Did you grow up bilingual? Wait, I should have. Oh, I should have looked it up in your chart. Just tell me. Did you grow up bilingual?
Yes. Yes.
Usually, I just prefer to look at it in the chart. But okay, let's see here. What else do we have here? Ah, Odin. That's not surprising. Odin is about really a lot of energy, like a lot of energy with knowledge. That could also mean like sort of like blindness. It could also mean that you have to close your eyes. Did you have when you do your channeling or when you do psychic stuff? Do you have to close your eyes? You see really okay. I'm like that too. Clairvoyance is like when I close my eyes, right away I see images. They're sporadic though for me. They're kind of
Yeah, I don't get too many images. My strong point is I hear and I just know. But
ah
my images have been growing. Because I after I lost my daughter, I feel like since I was told that since I won't see things because then I'll see everything. So like I found my daughter and all that stuff. So I guess they were blocking that for a moment. So my images have been hidden, which is why I'm saying my dreams. Like I don't remember my dreams. So it's starting to come back. Like I'm starting to see images when I close my eyes, and I'm starting to.
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. That's what I'm waiting for. Everything to open up again.
Do you okay. So it must have been in the past, even when you were younger, you always had to did you find that you always had to kind of be aware of what you're looking at? Do you feel like that's tied to that? Because I feel like it is something about.
Yeah, I think so
Okay,
too.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I kind of was like that, kind of too, but I don't even remember my childhood because I was told also recently there's something about the subconscious chooses to forget things in the past because they were so traumatic and all that stuff. So I don't remember
Yeah.
most of my childhood. Some people do
Mm.
remember, and I'm just like, no, I don't really remember. So I can sort of understand why you don't remember your dreams that much. But so yeah, dream recording is a really good idea. So okay, so let's go into Odin. Odin is beautiful. By the way, I wanted to let you know. I don't know if you ever work with deities directly. When you hear a deity that I mentioned, especially in your North Node, I wouldn't recommend directly. It's not an advice, but I would sort of ask someone who knows about these things who because I channeled remember I told you about when I channeled for someone. I don't know
Hmm.
if I want to call it channeling, but it kind of felt like it because it was like this is not mediumship. This is not
Hmm.
akashic. It was someone who's trying to blend in and it wasn't mine because I looked up their
Hmm.
chart and it was like and I'm just going to they don't want me to reveal the name. Oh, she says you don't need to. Okay, that's fine. It was a Mayan god. Okay, that's fine. Um, it's a Mayan god or Aztec god or something like that. Either Central American or South American, like Aztec, that Inca. Here's the other one.
Hmm.
And when they came on strong, but why am I saying that? So why was I saying that?
You asked me how do I have work with deities and stuff, and I haven't.
Oh,
And
okay.
you told me that you suggest that, and then you just stopped
Oh yeah,
your.
sorry. Okay, so if you are going to work with deities, try the ones in your North Node. So Odin, I mentioned. Nemesis. Nemesis is a Titan goddess. She's not actually an Olympian. She's Titan. She's much older. So there's a lot of wisdom to her. Um, Aphrodite is one of them as well. She's a tougher goddess than Venus. Venus, the Roman equivalent. They're kind of both of the same aspect, but Aphrodite has a warrior side to her. Um, yeah, and Odin, right? Varuna.
Yeah,
That's
you
yeah. Varuna's a curious.
Varuna.
Yeah, Varuna. He's a curious one. I've never said hi to him or anything like that. But if you do work with any deities, try the ones in your North Node. That's yeah. But I mean, I would say do it with not so much caution, discernment. So I'm just letting you know. I'm not trying to advise because I try to do that. I just say thank you. That's all I do. Okay,
Yeah.
so Odin is definitely about wisdom. He's also about grieving and consoling. Um, the price of knowledge. So he's kind of like represents the apple of knowledge. That's Odin. Okay. So basically, cosmic downloads, divine inspiration, but it's quite crazy. It's a frenzy, frantic energy. Um, This also include being misunderstood or seen or as insane. Okay. Um, things that are like that you have to release based on egoic or unhealthy ego traps and unrealities I put in here. So transformation as well. So embracing your true power as well. So integrity also is part of that. Legacy and fertility. So that ties in with the progeny I said earlier. That kind of repeating itself. Um, the duality of the third dimension. But Bashar says that we don't live in a duality; we live in a triplicity. So that kind of makes sense. Uh, okay, so this is one applies to you. Guidance through the experiencing of passing. Um, okay. Um, any sort of sacrifice, self-sacrifice, judgment, battles, figurative or literal. This one's a big one for Odin. Sorcery or magic, right? Art, music, and culture is also with him. Songs and singing, poetry, um, being a seer or prophet. So prophecies, so predictive stuff. Yeah. Something about the symbol of whetstones, whet, whetstones. It's a sharpening stone. I don't know what that is. It's like I would say it has something to do with like what I saw earlier with Nemesis, like sharpening, as in sharpening your mind, or rather, not necessarily mind, is maybe the higher mind, right? If you work with runes, that's a big one. Okay. The internet. Okay, tied to Akashic records. Past life recall, we already said that. New things, new worlds, new places, discoveries. Plant medicine. Okay, not necessarily ayahuasca or psilocybin, but this kind of stuff. Mead and alcohol. It could. It's more. It's tied more to the unconsciousness part of ourselves. Um, any sort of possession. So that one you have to watch out for. um, this one's a curious one. For me, it applied directly to me. Germanic cultures. Does that resonate with you?
Dramatic cultures.
Germanic cultures. Like not just
I'm not
Germany,
sure.
Austria, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Belgium, the Netherlands, Denmark,
Yeah,
Norway,
yeah,
Sweden.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. So if it does,
yeah.
great. You love, sorry, good.
No, I was gonna say I love Sweden, but yeah, go ahead. The Netherlands.
Are you into just the culture or what do you do with that? How do you,
We had visited there. It's beautiful. The culture is beautiful.
oh,
Yeah. So
okay, cool. Okay, okay, cool. And this is just me shining my light. I speak Danish because I love the way it sounds. It sounds weird. It's beautiful. So that's cool. Okay. So yeah, so Germanic stuff. That's cool. Another one is the multiple children's coming back here again. So that makes total sense. Uh, again, something to
yeah, I'm a mother for sure.
yeah, it's something to do with the eye too. Not that you need to be blind. I'm not saying that, but I think this also means that because of the eyes being closed, right? So, do you wear blinders when you go to bed? Like,
No.
oh, okay. That helps with sleeping more because you want
Okay.
nothing there, nothing at all, no light coming through. Yeah, that helps with sleeping. Not that you need help with that, but yes. This also means there's something to do with pairs and doubles, twins. You have a twin?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Other animals, ravens, wolves.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have ravens, not just as messages, but guides and wolves, makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think we have. Hopefully, this is the last one. Sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time, but thank you. It's 10:41 for you. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
it's 10:41.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. I don't know much about Iris. Sorry. Okay. I would go into Iris, but that would just be like wasting more, just taking up a lot of time. If you ever have any questions about Iris, let me know next time if you're curious, or you can look up the iris and see what that symbolizes for you in terms of your past life. You can do that if you want to. I'll help you with it, or you can just ask me
Yeah.
next time. But I think that's about.
Well, thank you.
Uh,
That was beautiful.
you're
That's a lot of
welcome.
information to take in.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's why I do record it. I want to see if there's anything else. Okay, cool. I think that's it. Um, does that actually answer your kind of question? Like, do you feel like you're on the right
It
path?
makes sense. Everything makes sense. Yeah, completely.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm closing that one. How do I get out of this one? Oh, stop it. Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, I didn't go through more of your progression chart, but I did kind of go through in your basic chart. I didn't go through it through the asteroids because I didn't want to take up too much time. Um, where do you feel? Is there something else that's clicking for you besides the new
I
stuff
mean,
you're going?
it's pretty much, I understand that, I'm here to heal. And I think teaching has been something that's been thrown at me and ceremonials and ceremonies. And so all of this makes sense.
Okay.
It's a lot. Definitely the past life stuff I'm looking into with the trance, it's bringing a lot to, I guess, the forefront as I study trance more and more.
Mm-hmm.
The timeliness I like because it's like past, present, future, it's all happening at once. That allows me to kind of feel connected to my daughter, even though she's not here physically. I know spiritually she's with me always.
Of course.
It was funny that you mentioned the vultures because that's like a huge sign for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the threes I see often, the ones I see often. I feel myself, I'm definitely going through the dark night of the soul with just my loss and just the confusion of where my life is and trying to get to. Um, but you described me to the T as far as who I am now, that I pretty much don't let things go by. I'm very vocal. And that's who I am. I stand on my word. It's funny because my manager is like, as a nurse, you have to be flexible. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're not flexible taking care, taking advantage of me. I'm going to be who I am regardless.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Exactly. That's true.
yeah. But
So,
all this, I mean, it makes sense. I'm going to go rewatch it when you do post it just so I can document more and just go through. But yeah, no, this is great. Thank you.
no problem. I find that because you're drawn more to water, and I don't really promote it that often, but have you heard of the Wim Hof method?
The Winpoff? No.
Wim Hof method. He's a Dutch guy who did 25, 30 years of his own experience. He lost his wife in an accident or something like that. I think it was no suicide. And when he was a kid, he fell into hypothermia in cold water. That's why he does the cold water therapy. So he does the
Hmm.
breathing part where he goes into um, his method is you do whatever his breathing method is. What I mean, I don't want to describe it too much, but basically it opens up the nerves and capillaries so that your blood becomes alkalized, just like kind of like yoga, but it does it a little bit faster. And
Hmm.
it becomes a natural painkiller. But when you do the cold therapy after, meaning like it's actually for beginners, you usually just do warm and then cold. Um, but with the cold therapy, when you commit to the method itself, your body gets used to it because your capillaries open up. But what's good
Hmm.
about that is that because your pH level goes up, yay, right? It's anti-inflammatory, which ties in with your path. But at the same time,
Hmm.
it's with water. And here's the other thing: it may open up more clairs because that's what
Hmm.
happened to me. I was just like,
Hmm.
what am I saying? I've never been this imaginative, right?
Hmm.
And like literally, like I just things have been, I do it. I did it. I've been doing it since 2020. So it's just I got used to it. It's time to get. It's just a matter of getting used to it. So see if you look it up, do some research on it, and see what you think of it. He has a channel. He has the app. It's technically there's a timer there, but it's like I think it's still 47 USD per year.
Hmm.
So which is to me it's like super cheap. It's like $1 a month, $2, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he has a website where two universities did degree research on him. One United States and one the Netherlands. So they did.
Okay.
So his stuff is legit. Why I'm also mentioning this is not only good for the body, but also the clairs, but also it's helped me to ground me in meditation. Literally, I become like, I know it's easier to become present when you're surrendering to that, which ties into right now when you're going through your Sun Pluto progression, means that
Mm-hmm.
that whole thing. Because when you learn how to surrender in the moment, um, I don't know. I feel like it'll add to it. I feel like you are already there, but I feel like it'll add to it. I don't know. Give it a try. Do your research. When I say
Spell it
give,
for me.
yeah, sorry.
Can you spell it for me?
Wim Hof method. WIMHOF is his last name. Wim and then
Okay.
Hof.
All
Super.
right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So, and I think that's
Okay.
that. So yeah, because I mean, I'm familiar. Like I said, I know what ego death is like. It's you'll get used to it, but it's you'll get used to it. Pluto teaches us genuineness, literally to the core genuineness. What is it that we really want? Is it really what the ego wants, or even the healthy ego? What is that? So you go through a lot of these things, and I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but it will continue, and even until, well, when it passes, when you've gone through this whole thing, it'll pass. So at least you're fortunate. I could say you're fortunate enough not to have a Sun Pluto in your birth chart, but you're going through. But trust me, it'll be better. You'll be better for it. You start to realize exactly what is meaningful for you, what is real riches. Pluto represents
Mm-hmm.
riches. What is real power as well. It's inner power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see that. So I hope those things help. Yeah. Oh, and one last thing. I noticed that because you're North Node in Gemini, there's something that has to do with the nervous and respiratory system. I don't know if your healing might incorporate breathing methods or nervous
Yeah.
system balancing, something like that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, that's it. I talked a lot. Blah blah blah. For the sake of the video, I'm gonna close the recording and say bye recording. All right. So thank you for watching all that stuff. I believe that was about 2 hours. That's usually good sign actually. Usually my readings back then would last a long time, even though I allow for much time because I never know if it's going to go over an hour. What actually happened with this video was I don't know if you noticed it, but it got cut off, and then there was no room in my laptop anymore. It's just like, oh, I didn't notice that. So it was trying to cut it off, and then I couldn't record anymore, which is a good sign. That means it doesn't want it to crash or anything. So thank you, I appreciate that. But I had to remove some stuff. And anyways, technical stuff, whatever. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. Comments down below. Questions. Like and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up if you'd like to. But just a little notice, I am planning on something. I don't know what it is yet. It's coming, and it's going to be something I'd like to hold for people who are actually wanting to learn, just like what I went through, but super cheap, and just here to help with how I do things, especially if you want to learn how to start doing it through micro-astrology. That will be kind of hopefully in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. But definitely kind of like, if you're new to astrology, if you have any questions, looking to do that later. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.